Hello, fisherman.
I haven't filmed anything about technoplankton in a while. Today, I decided to show a lot more content, and I'll probably even split it into several videos. We will be conducting an experiment today using new and innovative ingredients for technoplankton, which I firmly believe will significantly improve its overall quality and ultimately enhance the final result. Have you ever noticed how clay dissolves when placed in water and real powdered milk? What about hemp flour? I don't know if all of you have seen it, but to be honest, I haven't yet, and I'll be checking and watching it later today. So let's move forward to the latest updates. And further on, basically, I will continue to mix, twist, press, and demonstrate the entire process on the jar for everyone to see. I think we'll go fishing every other day to thoroughly cover the entire fishing area. As always, I'll probably go to the river. It's a bit easier on the toll roads, like at the lakes where there's a lot of big-head carp. Therefore, we will conduct tests in locations where it is most challenging to catch silvercarp, as these areas are known for the fish biting with difficulty and tension. That's how it is. Well, here we go. Alright, let's take this glass jar and examine it closely. Let's start with powdered milk. Such a small spoon, I won't add much. There's really not much else to say, so let's see how it dissolves and unfolds. And now, for example, I'll show you the significant difference between the so-called powdered milk, which is actually a fake substitute, and the real thing, which is genuine milk. This is natural. Let's take a small pinch of the mixture like this and carefully throw it into the glass jar. Let's see what happens. See, it dissolves and clouds immediately, much like plain milk would in a glass of water. You see, nothing remains visible. This is real milk. Do you see? I just threw it a little bit further. Actually, it's less than a teaspoon, so let's go through this step by step to ensure we get the measurements exactly right.
In order of...
Everything is in order, however, only oat flour, hemp flour, and pea flour have arrived. I have never used these specific flours before, but in principle, it's natural. Speaking of the ingredients specifically, guys, the quality here is just top-notch. It's significantly different from what it was a month ago, showing a remarkable improvement. Here's the powdered milk packet. 26% fat content is basically milk too. This isn't that palm-based stuff that's supposed to be milk, namely milk.
So what's here? Let me put on some relaxing music now.
We'll figure it out. So, I haven't unpacked anything yet. Nothing. They already called me a drug dealer there. A person from the audience was joking around playfully. What if it's actually you who's been smuggling various contraband items cleverly hidden under the guise of flour? Damn, people found out, honestly. I thought you'd never figure it out. Now with everything out in the open, I don't even know how to go on living my life as it was before.
We'll clean this up later.
so heavy.
We'll clean the trash later. What do we have here?
Edible white clay, check it out. Has anyone ever used this unique ingredient, technoplankton, in their recipes or cooking experiments? I'm not sure, but I definitely didn't use it at any point. Let's check now. You know what? Let's take this and this spoon, and I'll just try to throw it into the jar and see what happens. But let's check the plan further, as there is a recipe we need to follow. I'll show you everything step by step, but let's check it now. I'm curious myself to see the outcome. So, did you see that? That was from a teaspoon, even less than a full one. Now, we'll take a piece. Here we have powdered milk, you see? It's supposedly powdered, supposedly milk. Actually, I made it myself, didn't slack off at all, it's actually palm oil. Now look here.
Let's do it this way.
It's about a tablespoon of sugar here, and as you can see, it doesn't dissolve completely in the water. Here it remains, a very fine powder. You see, it doesn't want to at all. Now watch this funny thing. Notice the color difference? Here's how easy it is in principle to determine the color scheme, yes, whether it's a palm tree or not. Palm oil is consistently somewhat light bluish in its natural color. Here, and the milk in this little jar, what do I need to do next? We'll get something yellow and unclear. And here, take a look. Now you see how it rises back up again? It will never dissolve. It is completely intact now, retaining its original form. If you leave it undisturbed for about half an hour, everything here will become clean, and all this white stuff will gradually rise to the top, making it easier to remove. Understood? So the difference is huge. And there it will be all murky for who knows how long. Here's the difference. So if you're searching for it, it's better to use this powdered milk, which is made from actual milk. Although this kind of thing will do in a pinch, it's significantly worse, much worse. Here we go. I'll change the water now, and then we'll continue testing how the clay behaves. Let's see what happens. White clay. White clay. Put it in, let's do more. Let's do it again. Do you like it? I really like it a lot too, right?
Let's pour just a little bit now.
I think the effect will be just right. And it costs next to nothing when compared to the price of powdered milk. So how do you like the experiment, comrades? Alright, that's enough of the looking around. I'll go ahead and whip up some exciting new recipes from this cookbook. I'll take a picture and share it with you. Alright folks, here we go. Let's thoroughly mix our measuring cup with our very first ingredient, which happens to be high quality hemp flour. Take 100 grams of it, which is approximately half a measuring cup, so you need 100 grams. Do you see? Before you start saying that it's all done by eye, please understand that prior to filming the video, I had already tested and practiced it multiple times to ensure accuracy and precision. At least.
I tried it. It's about consistency.
Keep in mind that the key notable feature of hemp flour is that it's remarkably fatty. See how she walks? She resembles a sunflower seed cake. And it is quite heavy, so don't forget to sew it carefully. This mixture of flour plus clay is what will ultimately cause your plankton, let's say, to sink to the bottom in a gradual manner. It is important when making technoplankton to mix components that sink slowly with those that sink quickly for an optimal balance. If you want to create a versatile plankton that also sinks well to the bottom and bubbles up to the surface, choose ingredients that naturally rise, like dried duckweed. This is because some of it will settle at the bottom while some floats to the top, providing the desired effect of having plankton distributed throughout different levels of the water column. Yes, please add 100 grams of hemp flour to the mixture. Let's move on. White edible clay. Also 100 grams. We don't need it anymore. Yes, 100 grams. Do you see? That's it. We sew. The blue clay works exceptionally well, but it's much harder to get and often more expensive. She ruled in the mouths of rivers. Yes, it's just regular clay, it'll do fine. The most important thing is to meticulously sift it to such a very fine fraction. Yes, there is. See how she wraps her hands around it. Now we take 200 grams of finely ground cornmeal, which serves as a crucial leavening agent in our recipe, helping the mixture to rise and giving it a light and fluffy texture. Excellent at that. Yes, 10 grams. Pea flour. This is a stapler. Coolest and most reliable. We need 150 grams of it. $150 grams. 150 grams. There's no flour available. Always sew some small pebbles and other junk items. Yes, there is. Next is powdered milk. Let's also add some powdered milk to the mix, but let's make sure to get 150 grams of fresh milk as well. For those who don't know, powdered milk is also great. Besides being a bit murky when dissolved, it binds things together incredibly well and enhances texture. Because real powdered milk, first and foremost, differs from fake milk in that it is sticky, and it is crucial for it to be dry like all the other ingredients. If it isn't, you will end up with mush instead of the desired consistency.
Now let's add some more details.
Secret ingredient. The coat, of course, is no longer a secret. Let's add some ground oil cake to the soil mixture. You need 100 grams.
100 grams of oil cake.
Something like that. I got 125, but now a lot will be filtered out. You'll understand why I'm taking extra. You see, there are these kinds of fractions here, they will sort of go away now. So we take 100 grams. with the cockroach together, see? Tastier with cockroaches. The fish loves. That's what I was talking about. Alright, now we need a bit of protein. I'm out of krill, but I still have something similar to bone, or rather fish meal. We also take about 100 grams of it. It is sold very cheaply. It is quite literally called fish meal.
Yes, this will also go to waste.
Yes, and lastly, we need to add some flavoring to enhance the overall taste of the mixture. Let's add ginger. About 50 grams of finely grated ginger, I think, will be enough for this mixture. It smells absolutely great, just like that, with a hint of spice and warmth.
You see it as a spice.
It is also available in spices. You can easily find and buy it in stores.
You can buy 50 of them.
You can add whatever ingredients you like to the flavoring mix. So you can add ingredients like clarified milk, dairy products, and so on. But I don't want to add it on principle, so as not to compromise the integrity. All set. Now let's thoroughly mix it to observe how it behaves in the jar. Because to be completely honest, I don't fully understand the timing of the pollination process and its intensity. Right now we're making an effort to get it right, but every time I come to film, the wind picks up and ends up carrying away some of the crucial ingredients. Where to? Alright, I'll mix everything up.
Not everything has been thoroughly mixed yet.
Heavier materials such as clay and hemp are indeed heavier, as I mentioned before. It immediately settles to the bottom, so make sure to stir it well before using. It is crucial to ensure that your main ingredients are not settling at the very bottom of the mixture and to avoid simply pouring out water when the mixture falls apart instantly because it wasn't mixed thoroughly. And one very important point, make sure there is absolutely no moisture. Guys, it's dry. Do you see? Dry. There are no other choices. You might need to contact me again. It cracks, crumbles, and eventually breaks apart entirely.
It falls apart.
Alright, that's it. Let's try it. First iteration using a basic set of essential ingredients. That's how it is. Now we will try it on the bank and make adjustments for dusting, determining whether we need to add something or not. Let's go. For those of you watching us for the first time, here is my machine. See how it works? For crushing. This is a 16-ton jack used primarily for heavy lifting. Here you can see the robust frame, and this part is the specialized device for technoplankton. Notice, it consists of this plug with a pin mechanism. Well, I think everyone understands what the pin is for. It secures the plug in place to ensure stability during operation. This is a pressing mold. Now I will press and you will understand how it works. It was quite an experience. It smells great. Let's try it. It smells amazing. Let's see how it behaves in the water. And draw conclusions. So let's go. Foxes, 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 foxes. These clever, cunning creatures are often seen darting through the underbrush, their bright eyes scanning the environment for both danger and opportunity. This is our very first iteration of the project. Things are smoother. I'll keep this recipe. What is important in this matter? Generally, the effect of technoplankton starts when you throw it into the water. It begins to dissolve in about 30 seconds and then starts to disperse. So when this protective top layer is removed, water seeps in and the dusting deteriorates even further, making the situation progressively worse. That's some crappy technoplankton when that happens. Your primary task is to achieve a lasting impact. You see, much like a barrel, it keeps bouncing off the surface, so there's a layer that gradually forms and it evenly dusts itself over time. If you wanted to create even more dust in the air, you can add another 100 grams of buckwheat flour to the mixture. Alternatively, you can use a combination of baking soda plus citric acid to make it fizz and create bubbles. The effect will be even better and more noticeable, but it will also dissolve much faster. I think this barrel of water will last me about an hour. This is the optimal choice. Let's also add that the waves, along with the warm water, will disperse it more intensely and much faster, creating a wider and more rapid spread. I have more than enough of this effect. That's why, in my personal opinion, recipe number 2 is a bit better in terms of texture and overall consistency. It's your choice. The first one, it's still dusty, you see, even now after all this time. Here, the second one. And the thing is, it will keep gathering dust until it completely dissolves. When the barrel is about halfway full, it usually stops producing dust, as I mentioned earlier. It seems you've noticed this repeatedly. So here you go, guys, enjoy. Cheers. What do I want to say? Consider my perspective I used to have, if you remember, or for those who saw, or even for those who didn't see. Last year I had a recipe where I added food-grade chalk. It works worse in water, it practically doesn't dissolve and remains quite solid. Nevertheless, it settles at the bottom and still has its intended effect, although it's quite heavy. Clay, on the other hand, works much better because it's more granular. Chalk tends to fall in clumps. Despite this, it is quite suitable for bottom technoplankton applications. For the upper one, the situation is worse. Well, let's say this remarkable discovery involving the clay, which I've often noticed that when you're swimming in a river or a quarry, as soon as you touch a piece of clay, it immediately becomes murky. I'll also be experimenting with blue clay and regular clay, specifically the kind used in various construction mixes. I'll see which one provides the best murk and the finest dust particles. So I will definitely settle on one of these options as a permanent ingredient that I will always include in my recipes. Well, in my opinion, the effect is absolutely mind-blowing, just incredibly mind-blowing for such a surprisingly small cost. So this alternative can serve as a substitute for powdered milk. It's absolutely wonderful. However, keep in mind that if you exclude powdered milk from technoplankton, you need to compensate with some sort of effective binder, because clay definitely won't work as a suitable binder. It will act more as a loosener. In your case, powdered milk binds the mixture together. Many people have asked me what it can be replaced with, because either they can't find it, it's too expensive, or let's be honest, we have different categories of people. Some are wealthier, some are poorer, so some can afford it and some simply can't. Therefore, the main task of fishing is to submit the desired option. By the way, this is an additional option you can consider using. Instead of using a traditional binder, you can add pea flour, or better yet, use pea protein flour. I just thought of another option actually. You can try using shortbread cookies, which you crumble and then use as a binder to hold everything together. But it's unclear which will end up being more expensive. You'll need to experiment yourself. If you don't know which type of flour binds ingredients together and which one helps leaven baked goods, go to Google and look up the density and properties of different types of flour, categorized by grains or legumes, and you'll figure it out. This will help you understand their functions in recipes. And there are just tables where everything is laid out in an organized manner, so you can easily take note of it. That's exactly what I did to prepare. So, see you at the fishing spot. This concludes my video, and I hope it was helpful. Igor from the Ballads and Fishing channel. Until we meet again. This was your host Igor Nagoda here with you today.